Yep, with one of the groups.
Indeed, we have. Yes.
It was after Edward trying to get us killed in the desert.
Yeah, sure. So why don't we go ahead and do our benefit more than anyone, but also I suppose our viewers as well.
I don't think. Oh, we've been live the whole time right now.
No.
Oh, I was like, oh god. I really hope all that bad stuff I said didn't go on the air.
Yeah. God damn it, Jason.
You were wearing.
I do enjoy Andrew's recaps.
Oh, you'd like a recap from me again? All right.
Sure, yes, please do.
You're very succinct.
Let's see. So, last session, the most major event that sticks out in my mind is our group finally made it to the turtle camp, and this was this would have been Ebony, Billy Buck, and Lou all made it to the turtle camp and started making some negotiations. And I believe we negotiated to basically continue trade with Shamrock, but at the same time we also made some promises, I believe, to deal with cyborgs, I believe. Perhaps deal with a cyborg threat. We were going to talk more. Lou was going to bring that back to Shamrock as a proposal. And what ended up happening is we ended up having a fight, a somewhat short fight between Billy Buck, who is injured, and Donovan, our NPC hunter, and there were some serious words exchanged and some threats exchanged, and yeah, so now there's a feud between the two of them. We also got introduced to our cyborg, a cyborg family member, father, who is another very interesting NPC. So now we're dealing with this feud between Donovan and Billy Buck, which will probably end in blood, one of them's going to go. So in our other group, let's see, this would be Edward, Reginald, and let's see, why am I forgetting? I'm forgetting your character's name. I am sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm forgetting. Peabody. That's it. Peabody. We finally made negotiations with the group of the somewhat shady the shady group of these nomads, and we got led to the city of Gearshift. So we have now arrived, and that was pretty much it. There was a couple of other things that happened, but yeah, so that was it.
That brings us up to date.
Totally. That's that's about it. So that's where we will open. If you'll remember the tank that you guys have been coming in, it's about an half hour until the sun's completely down, but the sky is orange. There's sort of a great amount of wind. There's sort of a wind tunnel here on this outside wall of junk that you guys sort of feel this breeze of the sand whipping across your face. Not so much to the point that you have to cover your face, but you definitely squint your eyes a little bit as you come into this town, which, as I said before, is no bigger than probably a medium-sized apartment complex. Not big at all, and it seems to be almost a perfect circle, more or less. and many of the buildings and houses seem to be made out of spare tank parts, spare plane parts. There's obviously some foundations of some houses that were there, but the whole town sort of appears to be built out of whatever they could find. But the vast majority of it is cold, dark metal. And they have sort of a dome covering the roof of the place, with actually 2 or 3 layers that you can see of this thin metal, sort of protecting the town from the elements of the desert. Of course, the men on horses that your guides, if you will, they're sort of around you at this point.
Okay. Well, Edward will, once the tank comes to a stop outside, he will climb out and go over to the nomads and go over to the, never bothering to learn his name as I am still somewhat irate with him. I go up to him and with basically packs of food and packs of water, as agreed upon. I throw them at his feet and say, "Here they are. These were the supplies we promised you. Thanks for getting us here."
Yes. Thank you for holding your end of the bargain. I would recommend that you take a knee when you meet the king of Gearshift. Just some friendly advice. And he sort of takes it and puts it on the back of his horse. And by this point, not a great deal of people, but maybe about 24 or so, I've sort of gathered from nowhere in particular, and you could see sort of a building that looks really the only official looking building. There's a sign over it written in some strange language. It seems to be a combination of characters and digits. None of you can quite make it out. It seems to be the only official looking place. And from outside of it steps an older man, probably in his mid to late 50s. He's got light brown hair, quite long indeed, almost like a lion's mane. He is clean shaven, however, and he sort of walks out with not quite a limp, but a bit of a, well, almost a limp, a bit of a strange gait. And strangely enough, you can't see off. None of his limbs particularly look cybernetic, and he doesn't have a cybernetic eye or anything. The only obvious machine part that he has is what would look like a little Bluetooth. Well, of course, your characters don't know what Bluetooth is, but a little metal device in his ear with an antenna that sort of sticks up. He sort of stands on this balcony, and it's not a balcony on any story, just a balcony right there to the stairs on ground level leading up to the building, and watches you as you approach.
So have we made it past the gate yet then?
Yeah. You made it. They opened the gate for you when they saw that you were with the people you were with, because they're their friends. They knew you were fine.
Fair enough. Once the
most of the people around sort of seemed more impressed with the tank than you guys, but many of them are looking curiously on.
I climb out of the tank and look around awkwardly and say, "We have come seeking to speak with the lord of this place, a king of Gearshift. so that we may parley? I seem very unfamiliar with these sort of words, being a mere commoner myself.
So I suppose that would be me.
I climb down and take a knee in front of him. My lord, I'm sorry, I did not know.
As you do, sort of laughter emerges from the crowd. Stand up, boy. We're all free men here. No one is beholden to anyone.
Seems like a very foreign concept to me. Yes, my lord. And I sort of come to my feet.
Everyone that's lived here has proved their worth in one way or another. Otherwise, we wouldn't keep them around. Well, I come inside, please.
I sort of look back. Peabody, Reginald, we're heading inside.
Can we tell, just from looking at this group of people, is it a group or is it just a couple? Are they cyborgs or they just look human?
Yes. Some of them just look human, but that is definitely the minority. And even then, you probably assume that they only look human. More or less, everyone has obvious cybernetics. Some people to the nth degree.
Okay.
There are a few faces in the crowd that don't have any flesh on them at all that you probably don't want to look at too long.
So Peabody, he's climbing. He sticks his head out of the tank and he's like, "Ah, finally some people worth associating with."
Reginald, he's still in the tank at the moment. He's just talking to Murdoch, telling him to keep an eye on Charlene if you can, Murdoch.
Yeah. You hear a belch echo. Edward, you hear this belch echo from where you are, from inside the tank.
I don't know if we're expecting trouble in this place, but I would keep the tank ready to go if we need to get out of here. In a hurry. Pack it up. I'm not saying these cyborgs are gonna be dangerous, but from previous experience, it takes to be ready when these buggers turn.
No, you can trust these folk. These folk are completely trustworthy. They will be just fine. And he climbs off down the tank and.
After he leaves, Murdoch sort of leans in. Well, the fact that he spoke up for him didn't really comfort me at all. Oh well, they certainly are a strange lot, but that one has some pretty good moonshine. I'm sure we should be able to do all right here. I probably won't be taken off from the tank if you don't mind. Be somewhere in the vicinity.
Yeah, just keep an eye on people around here.
I look back at Peabody. Yes, my lord, this is the man you should be speaking to. He is one like your people. He is a cyborg like your people. He speaks for our group. As I'm sort of like, well, I guess the cyborg's going to be our best, He's probably going to sympathize more with the cyborg.
And when you say that, when you finish saying that, Peabody reaches around with his disc saw and scratches his ass.
Everyone hears it sort of starting up. And as you do that, the leader of Gearshift has sort of came to sort of put a hand on Edward's shoulder as he rose up and approached you for a handshake, but then just sort of drops his hand as he sees you doing that. Well, please, would you like to come inside?
You got any oil?
Yes, I'm sure that you could use some grease and oil, and the rest of you could do with some baths. Oh, good God, what is that?
As I
He says
crawl out
as
of the tank.
Reginald sort of steps off the tank.
Making sure that all my
Sort of there's
all
just
the
a
gloves and
collective
helmets
gasp.
I sort of like, I look behind suddenly like, oh my god, is it like a monster emerging? And I'm like, oh, it's, yeah, my lord, that is Reginald.
You hear someone scream like a woman and run off and see someone that resembles, well, a faceless person that looks like one of the Terminators running for their life.
Hi. It's quite alright. I get up everywhere I go. I approach cautiously with my hands, held up, looking at least as unthreatening as I can.
Yes, let's get inside. Let's get inside. He seems a bit more hurried now. So he ushers you sort of into the official looking building, which from what you guys can tell looks sort of just to be like a sheriff's office, if a sheriff's office were to be in sort of a post-apocalyptic cyborg village. It's a large building, but it looks like the accessible parts of it are rather small. He pulls out some chairs, some wooden chairs, and there's a metal table there. Sort of a smell of rust and stagnant water in the air.
I sit down next to I kind of stay a little bit closer to Reginald and sort of like nervously sort of like twist around one of my eye stalks, and I say, I don't think they really like mutants here.
Well, it's
cyborgs, freaking cyborgs.
Guess what can you expect?
It's not that we. Well, I mean, it's not that we are any more biased than you, apparently. I have nothing against whatever you are. He says this whole time, looking only at Edward, and not necessarily out of disdain, just out of fear or perhaps disgust. He's not really looking other than his peripheral at Reginald at all. It's just that we've had bad experiences by and large with outsiders.
I sort of chuckle and I go, yeah, well, it seems Reginald here has had the same problem, but reverse.
Yeah, I've had my
Yes.
run-ins with your kind. But I'm sure we're not all the same.
Indeed, and neither are we. There have been attempts in generations past to mass modify and unify cyborg kind, but all attempts have been thwarted by rebellions. And well, most have given up on the idea long ago. We may be mechanical, but we're just as human, just as flawed and different as the rest of you. We don't have a great deal of commodities, but I will afford my guests what I can. Should be able to give you all a shower now and perhaps one before you leave, if you so desire.
Shower?
But there is little water to spare.
What's a shower? You mean a rain shower? What are you talking about?
He's talking about an oil bath. This oil bath is going to feel so good.
Yes, well, we've come up with many ways to harvest water. If you wish to take a shower in the rain, we can simulate that. If you wish to bathe in a stream, we can do that too. The majority of our efforts we've put forth in this community have been towards the, well, preservation and creation even of water. For all life hinges upon it, even ours.
How have you managed to
So,
gather water? What methods are you out here in the desert? How would you get hold of water?
yes,
This place is barren.
exactly. It is. But, well, perhaps you just see for yourselves. He sort of opens the door and begins walking downstairs.
I give Edward and Peabody a wary glance as I follow this guy.
I'm stunned. Like they harvest water to simulate rain. Like this just sounds like miraculous. Like they're working magic. So I'm sort of just I seem sort of wary but sort of excited at the same time for what sort of marvels these people have.
I'm wandering around the room playing with whatever's on the shelves, clinking it back and forth, totally like oblivious.
Peabody? We're going this way.
Yes, yes. And he takes the trinket off the shelf and stuffs it in his pocket, and then follows you.
You guys begin to follow him down this flight of stairs, which, once you get to the end of it, winds back the other way and continues going down. And it goes so on and so forth for quite a while. Yes, well, as you said, the desert may be quite barren, at least on the surface, but underneath, in the right spots, you can find great swaths of water. We've known about it for quite some time. Well, when I say we, I mean cyborgs as a whole, long before me or probably anyone else in this city's time.
Like a well. You mean like a well? You have a well in this place? Is that what you mean?
Yes, I suppose the same concept.
I don't know. This shower you speak of sounds marvelous. I'd love to try it.
Yes, well, as I said, we've put forth great effort and made substantial progress towards manipulating and controlling the water supply here, but still there are limits to what we can do. All the right elements have to be in the equation, in the atmosphere and whatnot for it to work. And after you've done too much for too long in an area, it will leave the desert even more arid and lifeless than before. So, it is still a precious commodity, but yes, we have made great progress. Unfortunately, it's been stunted by, well, like I said, we don't have the best of luck with outsiders. Every year, more and more of our kind find the city and flock here. Not all of them stay. Not all of them lend their hands and legs to the cause, but many do. And slowly but surely we grow. And as he says this, you guys have probably came down about your 6th or 7th, you've lost count by now, sort of wooden staircase. And then you sort of step onto a metal plank, and there's a great door that sort of looks like the door to a vault or a safe that he turns open. And as he opens it, it reveals a giant sort of chasm, a natural chasm. You assume, at least, it looks by, not that any of you are experts in anything like geology, but by the look of the rock, it looks like a natural chasm, but it's filled almost to the brim with, giant machinery, the likes of which none of you could probably even fathom. And it makes your head spin to look at this sort of massive hulk of technology that resides in this place, but there's still sort of a slight echo and water dripping, and even you could hear the wings of some winged creature far off flapping away.
Wow.
I just stand there, mouth completely open, in complete stun, just amazement. This is like some sort of temple to the gods or something of that nature. No words come out of my mouth.
Peabody looks on. He's confused and a little upset, maybe.
What do these things do? I'm just like looking around. Wow. Are they active?
Oh, well, some of them, yes. Unfortunately, sometimes we get halfway through building something and then find a much simpler, quicker, easier way of doing it, and then end up scrapping that. Much of our time and effort is spent undoing things that we did or using parts from one to another. Not everything that you see is currently functioning, but it's all workable. It's all still good. The vast majority of it.
Did you build it?
Well, yes, we didn't just stumble upon it. I mean, it wasn't just me or any of my men or anyone here. It's been, well, it's taken generations for us to reach this point.
I have no
Edward
idea.
doesn't even look like he's... I'm not even hearing anything anyone's saying. I'm just staring about in amazement. So much of this is absolutely foreign and new to him, and absolutely beyond his scope of understanding. I mean, Edward, I'm just a commoner, a farmer commoner whose most advanced piece of technology ever seen was like, a wristwatch. This is just stunning.
I turned to Peabody. Did you have these things in your day?
Of course, we had these in my day. What? You don't think that cyborgs are capable of this kind of technological invention? Is that what you're implying? You
No.
booger-faced freak!
I don't know, my friend. Just if you've seen these things before.
Of course! Of course I've seen them! I built them!
You must be some sort of...
And thousands like me!
You work magic?
No! Unless you talk about the magic of this, and he holds up his disc saw.
Perhaps Wait a minute. What was that you said? Me and others like me.
Yes. Yes, you heard me
Perhaps
right.
You couldn't even
you've
cut
been
a tree
around
for
for a while, haven't you?
Yes. Of course, I've been around a
You
while.
may have been a part of the attempted unification which I spoke of earlier, which is why you would feel such a strong hive consciousness, as it were.
We didn't call it the unification, but yes, we called it the liberation. I was part of it, and thousands like me. We built these massive structures here in Gearshift and elsewhere. In the blood, sweat, and toil of thousands. And he's getting, like, very shaky right now.
I thought you were a baker.
Aren't all you cyborgs as old as he is? I thought you were all built by the old ones, the ancient ones. Is that not true?
The first group was, yes, but then after that, the few that were still fertile when they had children, well, some of them saw to give their children the edge they needed to survive as a very small minority in the Waste, and others, well, when nature removed parts of them, their parents replaced those parts, and thus generations began. Sometimes, on more than one occasion, they adopted an orphan of one of the pure strains or a clone. And, well, ever since the third generation, there's been little to no shame on the part of the cyborgs.
But you must
There's nothing wrong with
understand.
having...
You must understand that this, what he's telling you here, is laced with propaganda. It was not nature that removed this. That was done by the hand of devils and fiends who like to exploit those who are not able to defend themselves.
At this point, there's sort of a man walks up, completely covered in soot and grease, totally black. It's almost dripping off of him. He has one hand that has eight fingers, each of them very slender. It doesn't even have anything that resembles flesh on it. Obviously, just a mass entanglement of metal pieces making this hand, as it were. He sort of walks up, and he's got underneath his other arm, which appears to be normal, he's carrying quite a large tool chest, and he's wearing coveralls of sorts. He sort of just comes up and nods at you guys friendly, like just to make his way through. But as he catches eyes with Peabody, he sort of stops and just stares with his jaw open.
Archibald? Is that you? Has it been so long?
Peabody?
The very same.
Where I thought you were dead.
No. They tried many times, friend, but I always came out on top.
Well, I can remember many times you came out on bottom, or halfway through shredded up, but we always put you back together.
And a fine job you did of putting me back together.
He comes up to you and does sort of a strange salute from his cheekbone, something that none of the rest of you have ever seen before.
And Peabody returns it with his non-saw hand, of course. Have you been,
So
Archibald?
this is your, yeah?
Have they been keeping you down here? Maintenance for all these years?
Well, that's what I do. I maintain everyone. Ever since you disappeared, I never had anyone else that I had to take care of. And well, having all the years of experience that I do, yeah, they have me working on some of the most important and dangerous things. It's a good job to have. And what about you? This is your regiment now? He says, sort of looking around at the two of them. He sort of wrinkles his nose up at Reginald.
Don't give them too much mind. I'm really with this one, and he points over to Edward. I'm with this one. It's a long and painful story of toil and torment. We won't get into that here. But what I really need to know, Archibald. And then he gets up closer and he grabs Archibald by his overalls. He brings him closer. What I really need to know is what happened to Juliet. Is she still here? Juliet.
She's not, but she's still alive. Or last I saw her, she was anyway. Listen, let's he sort of looks around a bit suspiciously. Let's talk in private. I think we've got a lot to talk about, my friend.
Yes, we do, and be careful of that ugly freak. He has supernatural powers. He can hear things that others can't hear. He's probably listening right now.
I'm just smiling at Peabody, just more so that he seems like he's having a nice reunion. But I guess he takes it another way.
It's all right. I'll give you one of the telepathic transmuters. Listen, I'll contact you later tonight, okay?
All right, friend.
And while they're having their sort of reunion, I'm talking with the king of Foureyes. He, as I refer to him, the Lord. I ask him. I don't mean to be offensive, but I have a question. Our friend has been acting rather, at least for our kind, erratically. Are all cyborgs so strange?
No, yes. Well, no, not at all. I was a bit happy to see him at first, but then once I found out how he was, I was like, eeh. I mean, the other guy looks like a bag of onions, but he seems all right at least. But I mean, there's no mistaken crazy when you see it sometimes, huh?
Is there something you can do for him? When I found him, he was in a rubbish pit near my town, and I think perhaps the elements may have rattled whatever sort of mechanical bits he's got inside him. I can't help thinking there must be something you can do. You are cyborgs. Do you know how to fix him?
Yes. I'm sure there are a number of ways that we could go about it, and things that we could try and see what's going on. A few tests that we could run. However, like I said, no man, especially any of us, are beholden to anyone else here. It would have to be of his own free will. Well, unless he's violent or something and we need to intercede.
Well, against trees, yes. I've seen his violence against trees. It is most frightening to behold.
Yes, well, we don't have a whole lot of them out here. Not
No.
after we found a way to not after we found a way to synthesize them, anyways.
I give him a blank look, like I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Yes, perhaps you could synthesize him. That might help.
Perhaps we've had few accomplishments which we've set our eyes on. Few things which we've set our eyes on that we have not accomplished. He sort of says proudly as he leans on the balcony, and as soon as he does, you hear some minor explosion from farther within the chasm.
Sort of like stand back, like get back against the wall, like the whole place is about to explode. For all I know,
Well, I may have gone out a bit on a limb here showing all of you this, but I can tell by the cut of your jib that none of you mean us any harm. So tell me now, this is private enough, I can assure you, what is your reason for coming? Surely you weren't just traveling the desert on a whim.
No, I'm far from. I live across the desert from here, as do. Actually, I don't know where Reginald exactly lives, but I live in a small hamlet in the outskirts of. Perhaps you've heard of Shamrock from stories from the travelers, but we are in a dire situation on our side of the desert, where rain has not fallen from the sky, has not come from the Sky Father for many passings of the moon, and I worry that as many of our leaders do, that we will run completely out of water and perhaps perish. The farm in which I work is only barely functioning with the water supply that we have, as is Shamrock. So I went with Peabody, as I had recently found him, and Reginald, and asked if there was anything that the town of Shamrock, the city of Shamrock, could do for us. And he said that if I could solve this situation, it would be most appreciated. Perhaps he guided us, saying that your city out here has been rumored about this Gearshift of yours, with your many magical wonders you hold here. Surely you will be able to help us. Surely you can give us water. Yes? With all these wonders you have here, you could give us an almost unlimited supply of water.
Well, like I said, it is still a finite commodity, even though we do have ways of manipulating it, and even to an extent creating it, albeit with some adverse effects. However, we do.
Sorry, like the minute he says to a certain extent create water, that's the moment where Edward's just his mind is just completely blown by this.
However, it's hard to do it with just us. As I said, our numbers grow slowly but surely, but even then, progress is slower than we'd like it to be. If we could perhaps befriend the town. I've been to the town twice before. Only in passing, really, in my younger years. So I don't know much about it or who's the man to speak to over there, but certainly there are things that we could use help with. Well, for one thing, like I said, you can only operate in any given area for so long within a short period of time. overdo it, well, to put it simply, then it could be detrimental in the long run for the environment. We don't wish to leave our town here, and if we find other places to branch out and, well, let the environment return to its natural state here, we could still use this place. However, we've been here for, well, over 100 years now, doing our business, and it's time that we branched out. Cyborgs are not the only people that we do business with. As you met on your journey here, there are many of the raiding type vagabonds, the men of the desert, the wastes, men and women of the wastes, who also have allied themselves with us. They are traders, some of them more takers than buyers and sellers, but, well, all of them sell. And we do business with them. Many of them are our eyes and ears out in the farther reaches of the waste. And I have heard what news you speak of, albeit not such great detail, and not from such a direct source, but I have heard of Shamrock's predicament, and the similar thought, I cannot deny, has crossed my head more than once.
You create water. You're priest of the Sky Father. Come to our settlement. Send a small detachment of your priests. Bring them to our village. Have them say their incantations and their prayers to the sky, and bring water to our village. Create this water and bring it from the sky. Please, I beg of you. We will find some way to appease you or appease the Sky Father. Please.
I harbor nothing against you or anyone.
Sorry, I was just... He can just tell that he's working with someone who's just... This is so far beyond him. Everything you're saying is completely beyond his capacity to understand. We talk about equations and stuff, and he's like, this is all magic to him.
Fair enough, and it's probably magic to this guy too. I mean, you know, for all he knows, that's where his power resides.
Yeah, it's like you're talking quantum mechanics to a medieval peasant. You know, you're gonna get the same reaction. You know.
Well, herein lies the problem. Is that, well, you yourself are a good example of, on both sides of it, of people's reaction to others different than themselves. Now, no doubt, few and far between would be the person in their right mind that would argue that possessing such abilities to harvest and manipulate water is invaluable. Of course, no one would argue that. However, what many of my people fear, and to a certain extent I myself, is that the greater majority, everyone else, will see what we have when they know. And they will not wish to work with us. They will wish to take it from us. Yes. They will wish to kill us. And regardless of who wins or who loses, that is not a route which I wish to go down. I do not wish to kill anyone else unless I force to, and I certainly do not wish to see my family and friends destroyed. Yes. And what we have worked so hard for to become in the hands of another. There are differences between, I believe what they used to call it was cultures. We have different cultures. and I don't know how well it will be when they mix.
Well, you have seen our tank, our great weapon that we possess. Have us go back to Shamrock, and we will bring an army with us to protect your detachment of sky priests. That I'm sure they will do anything to protect such a valuable, to protect those so in favor with the Sky Father, those that can create water. It is truly, I'm sure I can convince them. They will do what they can to protect you and this great gift that you have bestowed upon you.
Perhaps this is possible. There will have to be some meetings. There will have to be much convincing to do, not only on the parts of the head honchos, but also of the people themselves.
Yes, I will spread the word to the people. They will know of your great works. They will hear the voice of the Sky Father through me. I will bring them the good word that we must praise his name to bring the people together, if that is what you need.
I would certainly do this. However, I fear that in a few days Shamrock will not have much of an army.
Why do you say that?
There's a raiding party which made their way towards the city, but night before last, quite a large one indeed.
Do you speak of a war
Of
band?
course.
Is it
Well,
that large?
in a sense, yes, it's definitely that size. More of a bunch of drunken buffoons with absolutely no manners or regard for anyone. You understand, some of the people that we have to work with, we do so out of necessity more than pleasure. At any rate, perhaps they will be met with an open gate, and perhaps the townfolk will let them do as they please. If they do, I'm sure little blood will be shed. Mind you, I said little. Blood will be shed. However, in the history of Shamrock, they usually do not respond well to aggression on the home front, and, well, I can't blame them for that. However, this group is large, and both groups may not fare very well from it.
What have we done?
We shall see.
We've taken Shamrock's greatest defense away from it. My village. How you say they are close?
They left night before last. It was a large group. Not all of them were on horses. It'll take them a while to get there. They left in spurts as well. I'm sure that I don't know if you can catch them, but I'm sure you can at least catch them leaving or catch them on the way out. I don't know how long they intend to stay or what their intentions are at all, to be honest.
I'm totally hopeless in military matters. Peabody, you once served in your nation's, I think that's the word, military. How great is a tank? How great is this tank? Could it defeat a whole warband? We have to do something.
No, it couldn't. But you'll never get me to fight again. I'll never go back to that way of life. It was a horrible way of life, but if you're talking about an army, well, what you're in search of is Salaskar's lost army, which once defended these parts during the War of the Third Era. a war which I took part in. It's hidden on the memory banks, which are backed up on my friend Juliet. This is why part of the reason I need to find her, but I don't know where the location is.
We've been searching for that army for 30 years. It's been
You'll probably go on searching. You'll go on searching because it was hidden by great and powerful magics.
An army of cyborgs? Is this what you...
Yes. Yes. Hidden in stasis and sinking and using power to keep them in stasis.
They say that they have technology far beyond any that's been seen. They were the latest batch. However, they were never activated. They've remained in a hibernatory state, as it were, a stasis, waiting, unscratched, unsheathed, with weaponry beyond any that anyone could imagine. That's how the legend goes. Most of my people laugh at me for listening to rumors about it.
I can assure you it is quite real.
Part of the first batch. Do you mean they were created by the Ancient Ones themselves?
Yes, the finest of their creations, or at least of their cybernetic creations, they say.
There's a look of both, like, interest but also extreme horror on my face at the idea of awakening a cyborg army that was programmed by the Ancient Ones, who, at least in my mind, were partially insane for destroying the world. Is this wise to awaken an army of those programmed by the Ancient Ones? They are the cause of all this, are they not? Sounds like a horrible plan. Why? Oh.
How were they lost? That's what I want to know.
Just because they are not conscious yet does not mean they are not alive. And I value all life. He says as things get a little bit deeper. It's not a question of using them for what they were intended for, or getting them to join any side. It's about getting them the chance to make that decision themselves.
They don't have a decision themselves. That decision was taken away the moment they were created, and they were created for only one purpose.
And that is?
To protect and to destroy the enemies of the cyborgs.
I'm sure people said the same thing about you when you were on that operating table. That you were just going to do what you were programmed to do.
And that's exactly what I have. That's exactly what I have done. You can't.
Really?
Can't
because
prove
it looks like you've been using that blade for grossly inappropriate things. I mean, I'm not a metal worker, but
you don't understand the great designs, the purposes which have encompassed this circuitry right here.
You're right. I don't understand. That's right. And what's also right, the smartest thing that you've said the only sensible thing you've said this whole excursion is that perhaps it's best not to get involved in this war. I understand you probably have some friends and family there in the area, but these men are not, well, they're not like you and I. They're not civilized. Well, not any more civilized than it will afford them to get what they desire. That and nothing more. They take what society has to offer and give nothing. Well, nothing that you want to have anyway. But I will not stop you if you wish to go meet them in the desert or catch them in the city.
I need to find their location, and find them I will. But first I must find my friend. And Peabody leaves the conversation and walks off. Goes to find Archibald wherever he is, working on the machinery.
I sort of.
As he leaves. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, I look at Reginald with a growing sense of terror on my face, and say, he said the army that army was programmed to attack the enemies of the cyborgs and of the pure strains. That was us. And I'm like pointing at like us. By us I mean like mutant kind. Like,
I told you so.
If they are released, they will kill us all. That is what they are trying to do.
That's just part of the myth. You understand, this is an old wives' tale. There's 8 different times that I've heard it told, and each time it was different than the last.
But why were they lost? That's the question I would find interesting. What happened to it? Well, was Peabody part of them?
I would explain some things, yes.
What if they're already
Yes, well, he sort of looks at Peabody walking away and makes sure the door is shut all the way. To be honest, I'm not sure if I really trust your friend there. I mean, I don't think it's any fault of his own, but he does seem to be a microchip short, if you will. But listen, I've got something that I can possibly help you out, but I need you to not tell anyone that I'm going to let you do this. There are ways of communicating long distances with technology. Suffice it to say, I don't wish to make your head spin, but there are things called radio waves, and you can use them to speak to people from great distances. Now, I don't know if she's still there or if she's even still alive, but there was a woman, a clone that I met once, many years ago. He sort of says fondly, then shakes his head out of it. At any rate, she has one of these devices with which you can communicate long distances. And last time I was in contact with her, she was in the town of Shamrock. If you so desire, I could let you use this machinery to let you warn her of the approaching band. However, as I said, you must not tell anyone that I'm letting you do this. This is, well, to be honest, I'm betraying those who I've promised other things to. However, by the same token, I do not wish to see any blood spilt over stupidity, or any blood spilt at all. The decision is yours.
So you say we are to consult a seer.
But surely, if we contact this woman, she will know that it is you that we are contacting her from.
I trust her implicitly. We have a very personal relationship that goes back a long time. We've had our differences, which is, well, why I haven't talked to her in the past few months, but she's nothing you have to worry about. She's not part of this community. She marches by the beat of her own drum, but she has integrity. I mean, well, for my own well-being, my own ass as well as yours, but primarily my own. If my people found out, or if the other traitors and raiders found out that I'd betrayed one of their own, it would not be good. And I mean, well, I'm not actually betraying them. I'm just, well, technically I'm betraying them. See, this is where do you draw the line?
If we can get
He's sort of troubled by the whole thing. Listen, I'm going to leave the room. What you decide to do is on you. He pulls out a drawer out of this metal table. You guys have came back up the stairs, of course, and you're back in his office at this point. That's where Peabody left from, was the office. He pulls out a strange device with a strange plastic device with an antenna. You just turn that knob there, he says, and hands you this walkie-talkie, which fits comfortably in your hand.
Who do you hand it to?
He handed it to Edward.
Oh,
I thought so. Nobody wants to come within a foot of me.
I'm like, what's a switch? Do I have to bang it?
Just
Against-
no. Don't do that.
Perhaps cut my hand and let blood upon it.
No. See, these are the kind of old wives' tales that are not true. Okay, look, all you do here, I'll do it for you. You just, and he turns it over. Okay, now hit this button here. This is the button on the side. Hit that and hold it down. No, don't actually hit it. Just press it, hold it down, and speak. No. Now I was just showing. I didn't actually press it because I don't want her to hear me. But well, maybe she should hear me. Maybe she should know. And you've been pressing this, so his voice has been cutting out in and out on the other side.
And I would say, Sky Father, hear me. I wish to send this message across a great distance to the seer who lives in Shamrock. Please.
All right.
There's an attack
All right,
coming.
Jason, are you there?
Well, you can let me continue, but
Wait, what's going on? I thought he was just
Yeah,
speaking
go. I was
through
just
to
making
the.
sure you're there.
No, I'm here.
So yes, so Marilyn is in her shop or her home, wherever she's at. Marilyn 84 in Shamrock, and you hear this strange voice coming from the bowels of your room. So go ahead and continue, Andrew.
hear me. There is an attack coming upon Shamrock, Skyfather. You must warn her. You must warn this seer. She must know they are coming. A large warband is coming to attack our city. Please send your miracles upon us so that Shamrock will not be destroyed and my family will be spared. Tell her these things. Prepare a defense for them.
What are you rambling on about, sugar?
I am speaking to the, and I sort of I hold my hand off of the button. I am speaking to the Skyfather.
There ain't no Skyfather here. You got the wrong number, son.
No.
Marilyn.
Who is that? Jimmy, is that you?
No, stop. No, I am speaking to the Skyfather.
Jimmy, I told you not to call me at this number. You're gonna get me in trouble.
No, wait. What? Sky Mother, is that you? Sky Mother, I apologize. Oh, yes. And I sort of I kneel upon the ground and I'm holding the button. Yes, Sky Mother, I am sorry. I mistook. I thought I was praying to the Skyfather. Yes. No, you must hear me. The city of Shamrock will be attacked.
Yeah, I heard you, Cupcake. Yeah, I heard you. Shamrock in trouble, blah, blah, blah. What exactly kind of prank are you pulling right now?
I am sorry, Sky Mother. I must have interrupted you in your great works. Please
You done
do not
interrupted me while I'm doing my nails. That's what you done.
What? Nails? Yes, Sky Mother. I apologize. What? Perhaps you demand a sacrifice of me. I can cut my hand. What can I do to appease you?
Well, you just put that knife down, and wipe the rabid foam from your mouth and start all over. What exactly is it you need?
Yes, I apologize. I am new to these miracles that these people here possess in Gearshift. They have such miracles they have bestowed upon me from the Sky Father and the Sky Mother. I apologize, Sky Mother.
Miracles. I'll bet. So,
Yes.
so you need someone to come help you. You got some kind of problem. Is that what
Yes.
I'm gathering?
You must inform Ricardo, the mayor, and you must tell him that there is a great warband that is coming towards Shamrock to destroy all that we consider holy and dear to our people. Send this to the seer. Send this to the mind of the seer so that she may inform Ricardo.
Mind of the seer. What gibbers? How did you get this number? What's your operating number?
I sort of look around to like the king. You are a priest. Speak to her. I cannot seem to. She doesn't seem to understand me. The Sky Mother.
Give me that thing. Listen, it's me. It's Maxwell. I just.
Oh, Maxwell. Well, why didn't you just say so? I've been here.
Yeah, who the hell is Jimmy,
crazy
huh?
person. What? No, Jimmy. I don't know what you're talking about, Maxwell. There ain't no Jimmy.
Yeah.
I
no. Anyway, listen.
That was the TV you
Listen,
heard
I
in the
don't want to get
background.
Listen, I'm not trying. I know we're not supposed to contact each other, but listen, sorry, this guy's a complete dolt. He's never been around anything electronic or anything water powered or steam powered or anything before. I don't think.
You sort of hear in the background.
Listen.
Yes, Sky Mother. I am not worthy. I am not worthy.
Listen, I thought he could do a better job of explaining than me, but listen, suffice it to say, what he said was true. Maybe a bit weird, but there's a large group, about somewhere between 40 and 60 wastrels headed your way. I'm not saying they're looking to cause trouble necessarily, but they're looking to cause trouble.
Huh. 40 or 60? How heavily armed are they?
Oh, well, you know, as much as anyone looking to survive the desert is, they don't have any weapons of mass destruction on them or anything like that they're carrying around, but they're not exactly looking to pick dandelions either.
Well, I
You
can
expect
handle
the occasional
20 or 30.
bazooka or
I can
laser
handle
sword.
20 or 30, but 20 or 30 I'm good, but 30 to 50, yeah, I might need to get a hold of Ricardo's. And she says it like super casual, like this shit happens all the time.
All right, honey pumpkin. Well, just be careful, whatever you decide to do.
You hear this slurp across the phone, across the mic. It's like she's finishing the last of a Slurpee, like a big gulp or something. She's like, yeah. I don't have an appointment with Ricardo's until 8:15 tonight. But yeah, I'll be sure to let him know. All right, see ya.
Wait, you have an appointment tonight?
Oh yeah, just the usual. We got some important business matters.
All right.
Important business matters we got to go over.
So he sort of puts the walkie-talkie down back in the drawer. So this Ricardo fella, he's the man in charge.
Yes, and apparently a prophet, a secret prophet of the Sky Mother. She will speak directly to him through his mind. something I've always wanted in my life, to speak with the divinities.
Yes, well, I don't know anything about that. Now, he looks just as puzzled as you did earlier. I don't know anything about that. But this man, I mean, what does he look like? Is he an attractive man? This Ricardo.
Are you still talking to me?
No. He's talking to neither of your character. He's off the walkie-talkie, so none of your characters are there right now.
Okay.
He's talking to Edward and Reginald.
He's, if I remember correctly, he is an older man, balding. Not, I don't know. He's more. I don't know how you he's not going to say pure strain because he's not sure if he's pure strain. More normal looking people consider attractive. He's older, so
both Edward and Reginald are sort of looking at each other and shrugging their shoulders. Yes, well, it's all fine and dandy, I suppose. So, you'll be staying the night here then, I suppose. We don't have a lot of extra space, but we have enough to put up a few extra people for a few nights.
Yes, I would. I don't know how much I will sleep in such a place of miracles, but.
Well, it's just a brothel. I mean, it's not that nice.
You're like speaking about like creating water and manipulating water to create rain showers. Like, you people must have such an affinity to think such things are trivial. You really must have such a connection to the divine here.
Oh crap! You're outside by this point. He's sort of leading you to the inn of the brothel in the town, and you look over and someone just has one of their arms is completely on fire. He's sort of standing there apathetically as one of his friends tries to put it out. Well, like I said, we are still human. We do make mistakes.
Yes, but truly, I mean, yes, but humans blessed with his and her divine grace. Reginald, I mean, can't you see? I mean, look around you. This place. Can you not see too that this place is blessed by the divine?
It's very impressive, Edward, but I've seen some things in my time as well. It's not the first cyborg I've met or the first piece of machinery that I've seen in action.
Yes, but so much and so many. How could they not be blessed?
Your implication, if they are blessed, and then we are cursed. Since by your own words, you said they were trying to wipe people like us out.
Well, I kind of look like awkward, like, well, I guess that's a good point. I sort of coming close so that they don't hear, and I say, well, yes, but, I mean, it is strange that the Sky Mother and Sky Father would bless these cyborgs versus our kind. I mean, as I've been told, the Sky Mother and Sky Father are made in our image, not in the image of the cyborgs.
Possibly.
Oh,
Some stories
yes.
are lost in the the rolling ages of time, for all we know, the Sky Mother could be one of these chaps.
Oh, like,
Blasphemy.
yeah, exactly. Like, oh, speak not those words. Well, I guess I will have to reflect on all this that has happened today. It is hard to comprehend. And it's been such a long day. Perhaps his advice about rest is best.
I mean, Reginald.
By this point, you guys.
He's impressed with what he sees, but he's not. It's not made him lose his mind completely. He's still quite suspicious of this place.
Yes. Perhaps they are witches. Perhaps that is how they've gotten their power. Yes. That does make sense. And I sort of like my mind is sort of like flipped gears. Like now I'm starting to be suspicious of them.
He's had a gear shift.
Yes, shifting in gear shift. Yes.
Should we go find people? He seems to have wandered off.
Yeah, by this point, you guys are. Oh, my phone is ringing. Sorry about that.
It's the Sky.
Oh, the Sky Father is calling.
She calls once more. With her words.
Who calls a landline at 7 o'clock at night in 2014?
Telemarketers.
Weird.
Yeah,
Anyway,
right?
right?
Marketers.
Just throw them in on the role-playing session. That could be the other end of the walkie-talkie. So, all right. Yes, as I was saying, sorry about that. You guys have made it your way into the inn by this point, and the man produces a few ingots from his pocket and sort of lays them down on the counter, what you assume to be a form of currency here. Yes, put these blokes up for the night. It's on me. He says, and then sort of smiles at you guys. Well, I've got some projects that I need to check up on and some people I need to talk to. I'll probably speak to you tomorrow then.
Thank you for your hospitality.
So I sort of now like look at him suspiciously. Yes. Thank you.
As you guys take the keys from your room and head up.
I take a little bit of dirt. I take a little bit of dirt from the ground and sort of toss it over my shoulder as he leaves.
As you guys take the keys and begin to head up the stairs to your rooms, which he bought 3 rooms, even though Peabody's not there right now. He paid for 3 rooms, so I assume one of you grabs the key. I don't know, you leave it there. At any rate, the 2 of you head up to check out your rooms, or maybe not, wherever you do head. You turn around and you sort of notice there's a couple in there talking, sort of over by a fireside, talking about something, and there's only one other individual in there, and it's sort of a older man, sort of wrapped in some sort of a hide cloak. It looks like a small older man, and he's got one orange sort of vulture cybernetic eye that has like mini pupils in it that sort of constantly get bigger and smaller, not necessarily in tandem with each other. And he's sort of looking at you guys across from the room, specifically Reginald. Although his look doesn't seem to be a look of disgust as much as interest.
Do I recognize this gentleman? No.
No.
Okay. Keep my wary distance.
Yes.
Any sign of Peabody? Is he still?
Yes. Let's. We'll leave that scene there for now, as you guys go up to your rooms or prepare to retire for the evening. Meanwhile, where has Peabody gone exactly?
So he wandered back with Archibald into the depths of the waterworks. And there's several. There's a bunch. There's a bunch of cyborgs down there. Just tinkering on stuff or spot welding or whatever.
Sure, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff going on, cleaning, welding, building things up, tearing things apart. Well, I must say, you certainly are a sight for sore eyes.
And these eyes are quite sore. I was turned off. You asked me where I've been. I don't know exactly because my memory was corrupted, and I'm going to need to get the backups. But I was gone for a long time, and I have memories of working for a family, and I made them bread, and I sliced the bread, and it was a happy life. But every once in a while there were visions and specters that clouded my mind of things that I have done in the past. I've tried to deny it, but being back in this place brought it all to the surface again. And he just his head kind of slumps, and he just kind of looks down.
Yes, well, you may be more fortunate than you think. I've seen others that, ended up with less than you got. This is me, he says as he's reached a door that looks just like any other door in the place, like a door to a storage room. But as he opens it up, you could see that it's a little living quarters, in fact. And there's a heater in there, for it's quite cool in this underground cavern. There's a heater in there, and there's a man sort of wrapped in blankets. A bald sort of hairless man with shoulders that are visibly just metal, a metal construct. He's sort of sitting there, slowly rocking back and forth, warming himself to this heater.
I just kind of look at him. And...
Dave.
Sorry,
you remember Davis?
No, actually, I'm sorry. That part of my memory is lost forever.
Yes, well, he shuts the door behind you. I'm afraid that all of Davis's memory has been lost. The good news, I suppose, is that it might not be lost forever. If you can recall, on our line they made the upgrade of all the real-life experiences that we accrued was backed up on a hard drive. Well, on a chip and a hard drive. Therefore, if we got hit on the head or something traumatized us, we would still retain what memories and experiences were relevant.
Yes.
However, I don't know if you... This is kind of a awkward thing to say. Sit down, would you? Would you like some tea? Some oil, for sure. I could give you some oil.
Do you have any of the 10, 12, 95?
I do, of course. This is personal.
The good stuff,
you know. Me too.
We were out in the desert. They were trying to give me the low grade, and they don't have an understanding. These mutants or clones or whatever they are.
Yes. They think that the recreations are as good as the original, but it's not. In our day we were lucky. This is all they had. But unfortunately, further reproductions were quite inferior.
Yes,
but for an old friend, of course.
That's a philosophy that stems from their very nature. They themselves are duplicates and inferior. They aren't the real thing, like you and I.
Indeed. Well, I'd be careful who you say that around here. Some don't take too kindly to that sort of prejudice. But I agree with you, of course. Not cut from the same cloth, that's for sure.
Augmented as we are still superior.
Well, yes, we are. Oh,
So yeah, I
God,
sit down and start drinking the tea.
Seeing your face brings back so many memories, so many wars that we fought and won. We seldom lost, and even then when we did, we gave them hell next time.
I wish I could say that seeing your face brought back the memories, but it does not, sadly. But
Yes.
we do have hope, and this is what I believe Archibald has brought me to you for. What was his name again? Sorry. Your dude right now?
Archibald?
No, the guy with the metal shoulders.
Oh, Davis.
Davis, yeah, sorry. And this is what I believe Archibald has brought me to you for, Davis. The memory that you speak of was backed up, and this knowledge, for whatever reason, has stuck with my supplementary memory banks. But our previous memories were backed up and saved in a friend of ours. Her name goes by the name of Juliet. Of course, her whereabouts I'm not sure of, and it seems that Archibald is not as well. Perhaps she has been lost forever to the sands of time, and we will never regain our memories.
Davis stares at you with a completely blank expression on his face, like a dog or a cat would if they tried to comprehend what you're saying to them.
Does this name mean
Really
anything?
quick, I need to plug my computer in.
Do you want to pause?
Yeah, just give me a second. I need to plug my computer in, otherwise it'll die.
No problem. No problem.
Technology of the ancients fails us once more.
You need a better power cell.
Yeah.
Or
perhaps
you need to say some incantations over it and spread holy water on it.
You cut your wrist and spread it across the holy symbols.
I had to buy a brand new battery for my laptop. So I've had it for 4 years, and it's gone like a beast. I use it like 8 hours a day.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is, and it was one of these Asus ones that the battery would go for like 10 hours before you'd have to recharge it. It was ridiculous.
Nice.
He's back.
Probably.
Sorry, Mathew. You're being very patient.
Landscape.
Thanks for your patience.
It's a psychedelic landscape.
Hey man, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying Peabody's backstory. He's been somewhat of an unknown quantity, and now we're getting to see a bit about what he's about.
Yes, we are.
I'm enjoying it. I just hope he's not an anti-mutant cyborg. Damn.
Well, I don't know how much you remember of it. You haven't brought it up, so I don't think you know much, but your memory was stolen from you. From Davis, too. We were wandering the waste, making our way back here to Gearshift. In fact, that was just a few years after the settlement of Gearshift started. It wasn't a town by any means. But we were on our way back here, and we were ambushed.
Ambushed? No, I'm afraid my auxiliary memory does not has not recorded that event.
Yes. Unfortunately, this raiding caravan got the best of us, and well, they forced us on our knees, and they took our memory chips from us. They took everything that Davis had, and a good amount of what you had too. And then they were scared off by that point. Other riders were on the horizon, and they finished their business as hastily as possible and went along their way. They may have even uploaded, in their ignorance, some other files, some alien files, into you or Davis.
Uploaded, yes. He kind of looks off into the 5,000-mile stare. But that Archibald, you have not lost parts of your memory. I am assuming that your backups remember this, or maybe you witnessed it from afar.
No, I was next in line. Perhaps, I suppose, in a way, anyone else, because I saw what happened and I was powerless. After they finished with you, I was surely next, but they just simply hadn't got to me yet, so I retained everything that I had. Fortunately for us, they have tracking devices on them. Unfortunately, it's taken me the better part of 78 years to construct a transmitter for the receiver of said tracking device. But I should be able to know the whereabouts of these encrypted data.
And then he all of a sudden, like, something like sparks in his memory. Yes, my backup seemed to remember. It was. Wait a minute. Was it Juliet who was in charge of stealing our memories?
Juliet, she wasn't with us. She rode back the day before to the settlement, and, well, she could never quite live with herself, I suppose. Felt quite guilty after that night. She stayed around for a few years, but she was never quite the same. Last I heard, she went off in search for Schlaskar's army, out on the far side of the mountain, the other side of Shamrock. She heard news of a great metal heaven in which resided many strange artifacts, and she thought it to be her best lead. And that was the last I saw from her.
Perhaps she's left behind some sort of plan for her route, or some kind of notes that she taken. We must try and find some information about how to get to the place where she went, because if we don't, this whole place, it will all be destroyed, and all cyborgs everywhere will be wiped out.
Yes, well, she's been gone for 2 years now, so good luck trying to get a hold of her or anyone that's heard from her. But if you're looking to go out in the direction she headed, I'm sure some of the local raiders or travelers can help you. Most of the city folk here won't know much about it, I don't think.
We must find someone who knew her recently, Someone. She must have had help from somebody.
Yes, well, she was in pretty good with Rick. He's a bounty hunter around these parts. They were well, they couldn't stand each other personally, but they were both the best at what they did. So they ran around for a while. Strictly professional relationship. Got into many fights with each other. It wasn't made to last, but well, he might be able to help you. Don't know if he's around now. If he is, you can't miss him. He stands about 6'3". He's got long black hair, like a curtain in front of his face, square jaw. Thinks he's the shit.
Davis, I need to know. I need to know something. What's the dude's name that brought us down here? I forget. The guy who's in charge.
Maxwell.
Maxwell. Right. I need to know if this Maxwell, if he is one of us, or if he is just another in a long line of usurpers.
I'm afraid Davis can't help you with much, other than as a paperweight.
What? What do you mean?
So you're really gonna search for Juliet, huh?
Yes. Yes, we need to find her and recover the information that she has stored.
Indeed. Well, I'd like to say I'd like to go along with you, but someone needs to produce. There'd be much help on the road.
Don't.
Otherwise, I'd help your endeavor.
Don't worry about it. You are not meant for such pursuits. Your life belongs along a different path from ours. But I will try and locate this Rick. He may have some information that we can use, but
well, I wish you the best of luck. I'm pretty exhausted. I've been working all day, so I think I'm gonna lay down. You can sleep here if you want.
I'd better get back. These clones and mutants, they're totally helpless without me.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
So he gets up and he leaves, and he finds his way back to the hotel, I suppose.
Indeed. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, Reginald, you're sort of preparing to lay down for the evening, and you hear a knock at the door.
Am I in my own? Do I have a room to myself, or am I sharing it with?
Yeah, each of you has your own room.
I thought
unless
so.
you all want to share one.
I make sure that. Well, I'm probably like half undressed by this point, so I'm gonna probably try and wrap a bedsheet around me to try and keep my modesty intact, and everything else wibbly wobbly. It's flying around. I'll ask, who is it? Without opening the door.
Jerry.
Okay.
Jerry
Jerry what? Sorry?
Jerry Mancilis. We never talked before.
Okay. Alright, I'll open the door a crack. Just, just to get a look at him. What do you want, Jerry?
You see that same orange eye from downstairs sort of zooming in and out on whatever you have exposed. I was just looking to see if you wanted to spend some time together. It's not too often that a beautiful woman like yourself comes through this area. Not too often at all.
I blink at least a couple of times, like just in sheer kind of confusion, and then I'm like, you think I'm a woman? What?
Well, these are semantics. Whatever you are, I like the. When you look at the painting, you don't care about who painted it. You're just like, that's a good painting. It's kind of like the same thing.
Reginald doesn't know whether to be complimented by the fact this thing wants to. It would appear to bog down with him, or that he thinks that he's some kind of misshapen female. I mean, I suppose in some cultures these bunny ears would be cute if they weren't for the fact they were like 3 foot long and grey. At the moment I look like someone's like welded a giant hat onto me. It's just dripping down. So I haven't got my hat on.
I mean, you don't.
I appreciate the sentiment, Jerry, but I don't think us two bunking would be a good idea for either of us.
Well, maybe we could just hang out, toss around the ball or something.
Again, I have to.
We don't gotta move. You don't have to move too fast if you don't want.
I'm gonna just slide my shoulder out the door ever so slightly, and he'll like, most of these guys won't have seen these, but there'll be like curved quills coming out of my shoulder, like where my grey skin ends. These kind of black quills kind of come out and form a kind of pointed edge. I'm not really pleasant company at this time of the day, Jerry.
He just sort of faints.
He faints.
Yeah, he faints. His endurance has been dropped.
Oh. God damn it, Jerry. Alright, I'm gonna kneel down and I'm gonna check his. I'm check to see if he's breathing. I can tell.
He is. He seems to be in fine condition, and it's about that time that Peabody has made his way to the top of the stairs and sees this happening.
You step away. What's going on? What did you do here?
I haven't done anything, Peabody. He came to pay me a visit and he passed out.
Well, of course he passed out. Look at you. You look like something that a baby vomited up. And he bends down and like tries to help the guy up back to his feet.
He's
Well,
completely
what do you have
out.
to say? What do you have to say for yourself?
I was minding my own business, Peabody. He came bothering me.
No, so I guess he just fell to the ground of his own accord. He just knocked himself unconscious.
It would appear to be so. What are you accusing me of?
What are you worthy
What's
of being
going on
accused
here? We got a
for?
problem. A large, sort of swarthy, dark-skinned cyborg sort of makes his way up on the stairs, hearing the commotion. What's going on here? Oh, problem?
I'll tell you what's going on. This one over here, he's trying to seduce those of our kind, those that he has no business trying to put his tentacles on.
Whoa, they make a business agreement?
I seriously doubt it.
Oh, you mean he's forcing himself on him?
That's exactly what I
She on
mean.
him or whatever. Oh, well,
I saw the whole
then.
thing.
He sort of
I
steps
saw the whole thing. I saw the whole thing. He had his tentacles, and he was going for him. They were wrapped around his leg, and it was just a matter of coincidence that I showed up when I did. Otherwise, the consequences would have been too horrible to imagine.
So Edward, you hear Peabody accusing someone of something from you. As soon as you get curled up in bed, you hear this.
What are the accommodations like in this place, by the way? Compare this again.
Not
compare
much.
This to medieval peasant sort of accommodations, and then you can get an idea.
It'd probably be like something that only a middle class or upper middle class person at best could afford, but it's still not much. But there is a cot, an actual cot, and there's like a little window.
No shower, I assume.
What's that?
No shower.
No.
All right. Yeah, I sort of wake up and my eye tentacles are sort of rolling about, sort of sleepily, and I open the door. Oh, what's going on out? And I sort of see the scene, and I'm like, oh, my.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to restrain you, sir.
I haven't done anything wrong.
He's a bit hesitant.
What?
I just.
What? I'm sure this isn't what it looks like. So I'm sort of looking around with all my eye stalks at everyone at the same time. What?
Well, it appears he used one of his quills there to paralyze him or something. I don't know what's going on, but...
Are there any puncture marks on the gentleman? Check for yourself.
Reginald? I can personally attest that Reginald is one of the most stand-up individuals I have ever met. How dare you make an accusation such as that?
You attest for him, he says, looking at each one of your four eyes in turn. You're the guy that's gonna attest for him, huh? Oh,
Yes.
what a surprise.
I swear upon the Sky Father and Mother that he would never do such a thing.
Reginald is taken quite aback
What?
by this. He's not used to kind words.
Yes, Peabody, speak up for our friend. He has done nothing wrong here, surely.
Edward,
Now, what do you
Yes,
say?
sir.
What do you say, Rust brother? Is he okay?
Edward, he puts his hand on your shoulder, Edward. How do I put this so that you might understand? This one here, he's corrupted you, and he's blinded you to his true nature, and I'm afraid that you don't really see the reality of the situation. So it would be good if you just went back into your room while we handle this matter, us cyborgs, because this is a cyborg town, and we know what's best for our kind.
Oh yes. Do you now? Do you? the one who wants to wake up the cyborg army. You know best for your kind. Well, how about our kind, huh? How about us mutant kind? So when you go wake up your cyborg army and they come be looking for our blood, as that is what they are programmed to do, to murder every mutant kind across the planet, anything they don't recognize as human, you don't speak of trust. It's you we shouldn't be trusting, you and your lost army of scat.
And what would you be without an army? They're marauders. They're coming. They're coming, and they're gonna kill everything. Don't you understand? Don't you understand what this installation means? The water that it produces. This installation needs protection, and as far as I can tell, it's not gonna come from a country bumpkin like you.
Yes. Well, at least one of us can see that this could be witchcraft. You do not see this, but this could be witchcraft, what these people have brought upon us. This speaking to things far away. I thought they might be blessings, but I now see that they could be persons.
You and your witchcraft. Let me tell you something. The only witch you're gonna get is the sandwich that I shove in your face!
What's happened to you, Peabody?
I'm alive. Don't you understand what this place has done? It's revitalized me. I see again my true destiny. And it is to protect this place. This place where the true light of cyborg kind can thrive and flourish, and people like you are trying to take that away. Look at them, and he points over to the guy who came up the stairs. You see what they're doing? They're trying to destroy this place. Don't you see? It's part of their plan.
Peabody, we came here.
Oh, all right. This guy looks like his head is spinning from all your interpersonal drama. All right. Let's just everyone go to your rooms for the night. All right, we'll discuss this in the morning. Someone else can deal with this, not me. All right, everyone back in your respective rooms. Is that agreeable?
Yes, I don't want to be next to them. Where are you staying, friend? I would like to bunk with you, please. I can smell that one from across the hallway. And he points to.
Look.
You did need to point.
You don't need to point. Listen. You got your room key there. If you want one on the far end, I could give it to you. There's another one, but other than that, I'm working. I don't want to deal with any of you.
Yes, well, you move to the end of the hallway and you keep your witchcraft away from me.
What about the unconscious guy?
Wait, it's not witchcraft. This is a book about a game called baseball that people used to play. I'm reading it, okay? It's not witchcraft. It's a book.
Yeah, so you say. I can see. Look, see? There's the broom. Right there. There's that handle, that wooden handle. I can see they fly around. I've heard of this baseball flying around and touching these cursed stones to put curses upon those who hate their kind. I can see it. Yes. You just move away with that. Move away.
Yeah, sure. All right, everyone, go to bed. He says, sort of scratching his head and shaking in disbelief, as the rest of you retire for the night.
What about the guy?
And we will close the curtain on this. We'll close this session. Yeah, that guy's still on the floor. Unless Peabody moved him somewhere, I don't know.
No, actually, Peabody is going to drag him. He's going to drag him to his own room behind him.
Okay. And we will end the session there. Pick it up next time. What'll happen? Will you? That's cool. A lot of people want to do different things, so it should be interesting.
And you, Reginald, you keep your rape to yourself.
Yes, there's much passive-aggressive slamming of doors as everyone's like, "Fine, I'll go to bed." Bang.
I try and roll up my floppy ears with as much dignity as I can manage.
All right, everyone. Be cool. Thanks for watching.